Hello, I'm Philip Stoten for EMS Now. I'm here at SMT Nuremberg and I'm joined by Tony Boswell from Retronix. Tony, thanks for joining me. First time we've spoken, so let's just start by introducing Retronix. Tell me what you do.
Okay, Retronix are based in Glasgow, started in Glasgow, Scotland, but we're a worldwide company in the recovery and reuse of ICs from PCBs.
Okay, and you come from that from a technology standpoint. You have a technology to do that?
Yes, last year we developed a process. The main reason that companies don't do it is because of the recommendation from IC manufacturers. They only have 3 reflow cycles on an IC. So you have 1 reflow cycle to put it down, and then with the recovery process it used to be 3 reflow profiles, and then another one to put it back again, so it exceeded the allowed use, but we have a process for 0 reflow cycles.
Okay, and is that a secretive process, or is it
we've
protected
developed
process?
We're trying to protect it. It's well, there's a lot of stages to it. So you know, there's a process for removing the component, which sacrifices the printed circuit board. If you look at all the companies here who are developing or selling rework equipment, all the heat comes from the top down into the component to the reflow underneath. But with us, the heat comes through the board, which scraps the board. But of course, the board is scrap. We are recovering the ICs.
Okay, and what's creating the demand? Is there a particular industry that is looking for recovery?
What you have now, you know, the situation, we also operate in the semiconductor business, and that is an industry that's going through a lot of change and cost constraints. So now they're not making 1 million ICs and hoping to sell them. So there are supply problems in the supply chain of ICs. So a lot of companies are recovering because they can't get the components they need. And you know, it's evident in the big problems you have in counterfeit components from coming out of China mainly, because companies cannot access the components they need when they need them. So we give them another option: recover from old boards and reuse them.
Okay, and in terms of, you know, if I'm an EMS company and I decide I want to recover, and my OEMs agreed that I can do that, do I provide you with the boards and you recover for me?
Yes.
Or do you train me to do it?
No, we provide the service. So you would just send the boards to us. We recover the chips that you want back, process them, test them, package them, and send them back to you.
Okay, and are there instances where they come back into the marketplace as a recycled product, or do they always go back to the person that's really placed them for the first time?
We only do work for the companies who place them in the first time. We also offer a test service. So if a company is buying ICs from an unknown source because they have to, then we offer a test service to test the IC to make sure it isn't counterfeit or badly recovered. So we offer that service independently too.
Okay, and it's challenging and risk in the supply chain that's causing quite a lot of this demand.
It is. I mean, the biggest problem is in the defence and aerospace industry, where they are using tried and trusted technology. But one of the things that was a surprise to me is these industries have very little power in the marketplace. Although they pay a lot for ICs, they don't use many. So they have no power with the likes of Intel or Micron or Freescale. So they can't place any demands on them, so they typically have the biggest problems in obsolete components. Yeah,
and they have to recover to do that. And you're doing that in your facility in Scotland, but you're also operating out of the US, I believe?
We're in Phoenix Mesa in Arizona, just outside Phoenix. We had a facility in China, but we closed that. We're rethinking what our Asian strategy should be. But right now we're in the Americas and in Europe and UK.
Okay, and what's the balance in terms of the volumes between those two facilities?
Well, right now the European facility is much bigger, but that, I believe, is down to the fact that we're not promoting ourselves yet or really going for it in the US. I think the US is a bigger market for us. Also, you have not South America, but Mexico. Yeah. So we have a facility in Mexico too. So I think our next target is to look very seriously at the Americas.
Yeah, there's certainly some opportunity there. And in terms of the different demands in the different regions, is it pretty much the same in the US as it is in Europe, or?
Typically they have the same problems in the US that they have in Europe: supply problems, scrap issues. So you know, you can reduce your scrap by 80% by recovering the chipset. Typically on a PCB, the chipset is the most valuable part of it, and it's worth 80%. So you can, of the 90% of the board value. So recovering it and reusing it cuts your scrap by 80%.
And you can recover multiple devices from one board?
Yes.
So the initial removal of a device doesn't damage all the other devices?
No, we remove, our process removes all the devices at once, all the ones you want to remove.
Okay.
in one step.
That makes perfect sense. And how do people find you? Do they generally find you through your website, or is it word of mouth? Or
Generally
I know you
through
have
the
an
website.
agent here, for example.
Yes, we're trying to use, for us, there are so many customers who could use us in all markets, you know, the return market, the manufacturing market, defence, aerospace, IC suppliers. So we're trying to really develop our website. Put a lot of time into a website and Google search and stuff. So that's paying dividends now. We're getting a lot of hits on the website now.
Yeah, I can see the challenges, but there will be a lot of different reasons to do it. One, you need to get the device because you want the device. Two, you need to recover it for something else,
Save
for
money.
another issue. Yeah, and you know, the economic imperative is always a big driver. Isn't
Yes.
it?
Yep. So, funnily enough, it's not the economic process that gives us most of our business. It's really the demand for the ICs that you can't get anywhere else is our biggest driver right now.
Yeah, I've got these devices, but they're on these obsolete boards or on
and
this
I need to
obsolete
recover
product. So let's recover them.
Let's recover them and
Makes perfect
reuse
sense.
them.
Yeah, Tony, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Good luck. It sounds like a really exciting initiative, and I hope we can speak
Thanks very
again
much.
soon.